What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Insomniacs, where we explain the shit that science can't break down. I'm here with my co-host.
Yuck Mouth, aka Sharif, because I come to kick a little knowledge. You dig? Yada da.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm, of course, Big Steel, man. Tonight, man, we talking about some real ill stuff, man. I want to ask you first, Jack, do you think our government, man, is in collusion, man, with probably alien forces, man?
Me being an insomniac, I definitely had thoughts of that. You know what I mean? Because you got so much shit out there. Excuse my language. But you got so much books out there, so many books out there. You got David Icke, talking about reptilians. You got Michael Cooper, talking about government involvement, with aliens, basically, Area 51. So it's a lot of conspiracies, but we're here to prove them conspiracies right or wrong. That's the whole thing, man. We could talk about it, but is it real or false? So today we're going to take a deep dive on the alien conspiracy. Because a lot of people don't believe in aliens. They just think we're the only people out here in the universe. There's multi universes. So you think we the only people out here in multi universes. Just the only planet with life out of all these planets and all these universes. Like, come on, man, you gotta wake up. Stop being so cocky. So we're here to dive in on them type of situations, man, and try to either prove it or debunk it. So what's up with it, Still?
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, the first pivotal thing, man, I'm surprised not too many people are talking about this, man. Space Force, they just unveiled the flag, man, like a week or so ago, and we show you the flag right here. That's our flag. Defense Secretary, man, Dr. Mark T. Esper called the presentation of the flag historic. The United States has been a space-faring nation for decades. Now, he's saying we've been a space-faring nation for decades. He said at the second ceremony, the creation of the Space Force was necessary because adversaries have weaponized space, he said. Space is a war-fighting domain. The United States is now doing what it needs to do to protect our assets in space and ensure that space remains the heavens by which not only protect America, but we sustain our economy. We sustain our commercial capabilities. We sustain America's way of life, as per said. Now, that's a lot of deep stuff when you think about the premise, because then, Army General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, called space critical to the United States. If we are going to sustain our way of life and we are going to defend our nation, then we are going to have to defend ourselves in space, Molly said. General John W. Say Raymond, commander of the U.S. Space Command and the nation's first chief of space operations, thanked the president for his support of the 16,000 space professionals assigned to the Space Force. Those men and women come to work every day focusing on providing space capabilities for our nation, for joint coalition forces, and for the world, Raymond said. We're proud of this flag. We're proud to have the opportunity to present it to you here for display in the White House, he said. Now, you think about that, man. He said that it's very important, space. And I can see at one point, because just like we able to do this meeting, give these people this content on Zoom right now, it's bouncing somewhere off a satellite, millions of miles away, and back down here and back down out to everybody else's computers. When we use our ATM card at the gas pump, that's by satellites. And I think that's kind of, me personally, I think we depend too much on that kind of stuff now, because you think about it, man, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, we didn't have that kind of stuff, man, and the world just went along just fine, you know what I mean? But now it's a thing to where, if let's say Russia was to knock a couple of our satellites down, this transmission go out, we're not gonna be able to get to our mun, you know what I mean? This is gonna be all chaos. Just imagine, let me ask you a question. Do you keep cash on you the way you might have back in the day?
Nah, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. We are slowly turning into a cashless society, which is a whole nother show, but we are slowly turning into a cashless society because everything is ran off our cards, right? Like me, I'm lucky if I got $40 in my pocket. If I got a couple hundred, that means I got a lot of money in my pocket. All my money is in the bank, because if I lose that money, that's you think about it. We lose that money, We ass out. Somebody got that money, they going about their business. We don't bless somebody. But we lose that card. It's just a matter of me picking up the phone and say, hey, can you cancel this? You know, send me another one in the mail. So we are becoming more and more dependent, I guess, on space.
But look, at the end of the day, man, let's get back to the satellites, man. The satellites is really is connecting to what we talked about last episode, Project Bluebeam. So where they use the satellites, you know what I mean, to control the weather, you know what I mean, to make earthquakes, to make, you know what I mean, tornadoes and all that, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of connections with like weather warfare, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's beyond just technology. It's weather warfare. It's all types of shit going on up there, man, with them satellites, man. And, you know what I mean, with the presence of fucking unidentified objects that the Army just keep reporting as of recent, but they've been seeing this for decades. You know what I mean? They just now pulling a rabbit out the hat because, you know, if you come with a space program, everybody in America like, why is the space program? Hey, let's show them a flying saucer. Let's finally show them one. But in reality, we've been seeing this forever. You know what I mean? There's so much footage, there's so much tape of, you know what I mean, unidentified objects. You know what I mean? Just from the Area 21 to the what's it called Roswell, Mexico. You know what I mean? That crash, and that crash was before the crash at Area 51. You know what I mean? To as of recently, you know what I mean? Our always welcome, you know what I mean? Surprise host disaster told me about as of recently. It's been like multiple earthquakes around the area of Area 51. Yeah. Now, you know, minor earthquakes, small earthquakes. Now, you know, if it's a small earthquake, something's getting blown up underground. Something's getting built. Now, you have a multitude of many small earthquakes in that area, like back to back to back to back to back to back. You know, something is going down underground. You know, I'm watching The Matrix. Underground cities in The Matrix. You know what I mean? They talking about what was that club called? Babylon? I don't know what the club was called. Zion.
Yeah.
In the middle of the earth, by you know, close by the equator because it's hot. So thinking of stuff like that, and you seeing in Area 51 all these earthquakes, all I could do was imagine as an Insomniac that they building something underground. You did?
Well, you know, it's not just that they just building something underground. They've been building something underground, man. You know, speaking of underground, man, that's just a perfect segue, man. There was a guy, man, Phil Schneider. He was a geologist, man, for the U.S. government, man. He was an underground construction expert, man. You know, he was also a man who spent 17 years working on government black projects. And when I say black projects, I mean stuff that's off the grid, stuff that, you know, that's not open for public
consumption,
you know?
Yeah, public knowledge or consumption, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had a level 1 security clearance. And Phil worked at Area 51 in Los Alamos, you know what I'm saying? He is only one of 3 survivors, man, from something called the Alien-Human War at Dulce. A confrontation that they still say is going on today, you know what I'm saying? And that's in Dulce, New Mexico, and the Los Alamos underground areas in August of 1979. And they said over 60 government workers and agents were killed during those confrontations. You know,
wow.
It's real ill, man. Actually, man.
Hold on. The pause on that. How many Americans was killed?
60.
Why they don't talk about that?
Well, you know, you have to think about it like this. Like, we talk about everything, man, that's like, I don't like the word conspiracy, but I would like to call it alternative news.
Right.
If they said that, man, just imagine, man, how much panic would be on Earth, right?
Right.
You know, just look at the COVID thing that we have right now, man. That put everybody in the house, man. Had a lot of people nervous, you know what I mean? So just imagine if the news came on and said, we are at war, lock your doors and, you know, shut your windows. We are at war in New Mexico, saying, you know, what kind of tissy would that put people under? And then you got the other spectrum. They out there trying to fight this battle. Just think of how many people go to Los Alamos, New Mexico then, just to try to see that. Think about that.
They already went there. They already went to Area 51, demanding them to open it up. Like you seen all the people that went down there and got turned their ass right back around. The army tanks and the goddamn jeeps with them choppers. Turn your ass around. You come to this gate. That's about it, bro. Other than that, get your ass back. Period.
Now, just think about that, bro. So this guy, man, he pretty. You know what, man? Instead of talking about it, man. Hey, y'all check this out, man. Check this footage out right here. This is actually Phil Schneider, man. Check it out.
In this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This is in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died, but he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything.
Man, it's crazy, ain't it?
Hey, man, bro got his finger shot off, man. Yeah, now he got missing fingers. Like that's real deal Holyfield compared to somebody saying, yeah, I got abducted and I had a fight with one of them, and you ain't got no mark on your body to show that fucking fight. He has marks, like his fingers are missing. You know what I mean? He said the alien put the hand across his chest and it shot a beam and burnt his fingers off and crispy crittered his toes. You know what I mean? Burnt his fingernails.
Think about it. You come out with your Glock and you bust that thing on him, and he let a beam off his shoe. He said it knocked the shoes off his feet, man.
And one of his homeboys yanked him up in the little whatever they got let down there and yanked him up in time. But he said he got split like a fish. He said that beam hit him, split him open like a fish. He said his homie yanked him up, you know what I mean, to save his life. So his other homie was down there with him. He got killed. He said he shot 2 of them.
Well, the guy that actually yanked him up, if you go back to the video, his dude got killed too. He pretty much risked gave his life to save him.
Yank him up.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And you know what, man? As we always notice, man, with these guys, man, that like reporting the truth, what always winds up ultimately happening to them, besides them being called crazy and everything else? What ultimately winds up happening?
Suicide.
Yeah,
it gotta be a suicide somewhere, alleged suicide. You know, we know what it do, but we ain't gonna point no fingers. But all these people that's connected to these, you know what I mean, top secret ops, you know what I mean, all of a sudden just die all of a sudden, man. You know, rest in peace to Osteen. Osborne,
Yeah, our guy Osborne.
Osborne, you know what I mean? Same thing. Just you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Suicide out the blue. So
Now we
go
gotta
ahead,
have.
land on it. Land on all the people who allegedly committed suicide.
Now check this out though, man. Let me tell his story first, because it's real ill. This gonna trip you out. After 13 attempts on his life, he had 13 attempts on his life that he got away from, right?
The one that got shot, his fingers got filled.
Yeah.
Phil,
Phil
okay.
Schneider was found dead in his Wilsonville, Oregon apartment on January 17th, 1996. He had apparently been dead for several days and reportedly had a rubber hose wrapped 3 times around his neck. Officially, suicide is now stated as the cause of death. The medical examiner took blood and urine samples of the autopsy but refused to analyze them, said the Clackamas County Coroner's Office. They would not waste their money on a suicide. Samples were kept for 12 months. When interested parties asked for these samples to be sent to an independent lab 11 months later, they were missing and presumed destroyed. Schneider had missing fingers on his left hand, limited motion in his shoulders. It was physically impossible for him to have held the rubber hose to his left hand with missing fingers and then wrap the hose 3 times around his own neck with shoulders that had limited motion. In order to end up where his body was, he would have to sit on the edge of his bed, wrap the hose around his neck, slowly and painfully strangle himself to death and fall head first into a wheelchair. Philip was an expert in chemicals and his own medical needs. He had multiple pills at hand that could have ended his life quickly and painlessly. He also had a 9mm gun that he had borrowed to protect himself and could have ended his own life with one shot. So you think about this, man. This man got 3 fingers on one hand, and he got his like this. I was born at night, but not last night. And he wrapped the thing 3 times around his neck and just choked himself. From what I know about, because I've choked a few people out of my day, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Allegedly, I've choked some people out of my time. Usually, allegedly, I think people just fall asleep like this before they do anything right. So if he was choking himself out, my man would have passed out, and you might have found him with a knot in his head or something like that. But he'd have been, you know what I mean? It just don't happen like that, man. It's like, with all that, man, it's always some kind of suicide.
Now, with all that being said, why was it suicides and deaths, you know what I mean, back in the day, but the government is freely, you know what I mean, giving out this information? My thoughts, you know what I mean, thinking as an insomniac, I think it's Project Bluebeam, because when we talk about Project Bluebeam, we didn't talk about the fake alien invasion. You know, we was talking about, you know, other shit, you know what I mean, like they gonna come and bring back Christ and all that, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, the second coming of Christ or the Antichrist, whatever they're trying to promote. But we forgot about the fake alien invasion. Now we got Space Force flag. Now we got, you know what I mean? We got all these Project Bluebeam. We got all this stuff going on, and they saying that we have aliens all of a sudden. The government saying that. So this the perfect temperature, the perfect alley-oop to bring the fake alien invasion with the Project Bluebeam. You dig? So all this shit ties in with each other. You dig?
Oh, it ties in, man, with each other, man. And I tell everybody, man, go do your own research, man. Do your own math, man. You go get the same answers, man. Math never lies, man. Because if you go deeper into that video, we just showed them a clip of it right there, right? He says, man, that we are in collusion, man, with the gray beings or whatever they are, whatever they're supposed to be. If you think about it, man, we've had a massive jump in technology. Just think about during our lifetime, man. I know I'm older than you. I'm triple OG, man.
Right.
But think about from the time that you was just in 8th grade, man, 7th grade or whatever to now, you know, just us being able to look at each other, just us being able to do this right here, this would have been considered impossible, man, 20 years ago.
Right.
This was stuff I only saw on the Jetsons, you know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that we have a jet, a supersonic jet, a hypersonic jet called the Aurora. You know what I mean? Now, that thing flies, I don't know how many times the speed of light, but that thing is like the new spaceship they got. Now, where do you get that Aurora technology from? To where you're doing Mach speed and you're breaking the sound barrier, you're breaking the speed of light. Like that's some Star Wars shit that we seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like we seen this shit in movies. This shit is real life. They have that fucking plane, the Aurora hyperjet.
Yeah, let me
So
look it up real quick.
yeah, the Aurora hyperjet, man. That thing is powerful, man. And that thing was made in Area 51. Yeah, man. So that's some of the things that they constructed in Area 51, allegedly. But that Aurora hypersonic jet was made in Area 51, man. So yeah, that's the type of stuff they doing down there. And then you hear all these earthquakes, you don't know what they doing underground. You know what I mean? Now you got all these underground bases around the world, you know what I mean, period. So we don't know if they finally just start dig underground and just make that another underground base. You know what I mean? But it's multiple earthquakes going down as we speak out there around Area 51.
Well, you know
but
what?
Talk about the Aurora, though, the hypersonic airplane.
Aurora, man. And they always, man, you know, this stuff comes out, and when the public finds out about it, they always want to debunk it and call it a myth. You know what I mean?
Nah, this Aurora been in the sky. They got chemtrails.
I'm telling you, my research is found.
Chemtrails, yeah. Chemtrails at Aurora. You know, getting loose.
Don't get me wrong, my brother. I'm not debunking nothing what you're saying because I did it. But this is what comes up if someone was to look up for it, right?
Right.
Aurora was a rumored mid-1980s American Renaissance aircraft. There's no substantial evidence that it was ever built or flown, and it has been termed a myth. They have debunked that, you know what I mean? They have debunked. But check this out, though. Many aerospace industry observers believe that in the U.S., they had the capability to build a Mach 5 hypersonic speed plane, right? Now, these are what the experts are saying, right? The U.S. defense budget claimed to have found a substantial amount of money missing that it may have been channeled into black projects. We go back to them black projects that nobody's supposed to know about again, right? All this money is missing from the government, right? You gotta have money, man. You know, did you know how fast hypersonic speed is, man?
Who they got at their head of their space program? You got Elon Musk. Why he can't? Like, you don't think he can make a hypersonic jet? Like no. They got him making the rockets right now and the satellite.
You just came up to a very substantial point, right?
Yeah, I mean, allegedly, I don't know, but I know that Aurora jet is out there.
These are facts right here. Since when have you known NASA to invest any money into a private firm? NASA came like if you had a place where you built motors at, NASA wouldn't come and give you no money to expand your operation. They would do that themselves, right? But if they go private, they don't have to explain stuff to nosy people like me and you. When you're doing stuff, right, you got to explain where the money is going, where is this and that. Now, if you put that money in the hands of, let's say, Elon Musk or somebody, Elon Musk is a private entity. He has, you know, his SpaceX thing is private. He don't have to report nothing to nobody. You know what I mean?
But look what he's doing, man. Like, at the end of the day, he's the first with the hyper, you know what I mean? The super railroad system that's going to go down. That's going to get you here in a minute. Like, come on, man. And this railroad system floats. It floats. And they was talking about these railroads that float, bro, period. Like, what they was saying. I think the dude that somebody was talking about being traveled on the railroad, that on the train that just floats. It ain't got no connection to the rail and that. It just floats and it goes at hyper speed. It's hella fast. But at the end of the day, when you get back to Area 51, you get back to Phil Schneider, you know what I mean? You get back to William Cooper, you know what I mean? All people, you know what I mean, that died for the cause. Just to, you know what I mean, let them know that it's real in the field. Like, people, like, hold on, let me land. People don't believe in God or the devil, let alone alien, you know what I mean? So we just trying to wake y'all up, man. Don't be in the chat room and try to debunk us or whatever. We just bring a conversation to the table that everybody have. Like, everybody asks those questions, you know what I mean? Just like you asked who is God. We asking, are there other life out there in the universe? That's it. And we coming with government facts that they done dealt with. The man, Phil, got his hand shot off. He popped 2 of them. He said they mortal because they do die. Yeah, he killed them with a bullet. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we need to know these facts, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of stuff, man, and some of it I'll go into, some of it I won't, man.
Okay, so let's end it on a good note. Let's end it on a good note. I'm gonna end it on a good note, man. Have you seen that movie called The Fourth Kind?
The fourth kind?
The Fourth Kind.
I haven't seen that one. That's one of the ones I missed.
Okay, so this Fourth Kind is based on true events, right? Up in Norm, Alaska. Like Norm, Alaska is like the closest city to the fucking Antarctica, right? So it's been now Norm, Alaska has the most missing people in the whole Alaska. The most people, you know what I mean? Anyway, so it's a doctor who's a psychologist, Dr. Abigail Taylor. So she's a psychologist, and she got these 3 patients, and they talk about they've been abducted. All talk about the same thing. Talking about they see a white owl, you know what I mean, in the window, and then next thing you know, they've been taken by gray aliens, right? So the doctor wasn't believing them, but she recorded it. Like she started recording it, like I don't believe this shit. So the Dr. Abigail was recording these events. Now the movie is playing with them reenacting it, but you also have live footage of what actually happened. And this shit spooked me, my nigga. This shit fucked me up, bro, because they show these dudes that got abducted, you know what I mean? Like just get contacted right in the middle of the interview or the therapy and start floating in the sky, and like all types of wild, you know, madness. Like it's just unbelievable, man. So Abigail Tyler, you know, her not believing it and going deep down the rabbit hole. And then she pulls up to one of her clients' houses and she sees a big spaceship over the house, and the sheriff that was there. Sheriff's car is recording it. They see a big shadow of a spaceship over the house. You know what I mean? So watch that movie, man. And then at the end of the day, she ended up getting abducted. And she ended up telling her story about, so she got abducted too. So it's deep, man. It's the real true events that happened up there in Alaska. And it's a dope fucking movie, man. If you don't, The Fourth Kind, man. That shit is spooky, and it was damn near like The Exorcist, and oh man, it's crazy, man. That's a deep movie, man. They talking about the Greys coming and getting them, and they saying it's an owl always in the window, a white owl with black eyes. Now let's get back to, you know, and that's the perfect alley-oop to our next situation that we're gonna talk about next week, the Illuminati. What's the Illuminati's symbol? The owl.
The owl, man, and the pyramid.
And the owl and the all-seeing eye. But the owl is the symbol of knowledge and enlightenment. You know what I mean? That's what the Illuminati is. You know what I mean? All-seeing. You know what I mean? So all them abductees said they seen a white owl with black eyes in their window before they started getting abducted. Now this just since they were kids. They was getting abducted and kept getting abducted as adults, and he went to a therapist, Dr. Abigail Tyler. And it's a dope ass movie, man. But it's true events, man, and it lets you know how much alien activity is in Antarctica. Like we was talking about, like we can't fly there, we can't live there. Like in every town that's by that, with the closest town that's by Antarctica is Nome, Alaska, and all them people are getting abducted. You know what I mean? It's a true story, man. So go check that out.
I will check it out. And you know, we but not to cut you off, my brother, what I wanted to tell you was, man, anyone that seems to have a substantial amount of knowledge, man, and when you see stuff like this, it's kind of hard to stay quiet, right?
Right.
If I was privy to any of this information that these guys were saying, I would be using my platform, anything in my power, to let everybody know, hey, this is what's going on. We need to put a stop to this, and we need to know what's going on. But all of these guys either died from suicides or heart attacks and just under strange circumstances, man. So that's what we here to do, man. We here to explain the unexplainable, man, because I feel like it's our duty as cats with platforms, man, to let the public know about this kind of stuff. So either you believe it or you don't, You go do your own research and you go do your own thing. We're not here to try to convince you otherwise, but that's it.
But today, but not to cut you off, my brother, but today we just told 2 events. You know what I mean? Well, it's 4 events in Alaska. Well, we just showed 5 events. One with Phil, and then with Dr. Abigail Tyler, with her and her clients, how they all got abducted. And Phil had to go to war with him and lost his fingers and lost his life. Like, come on, man. Like, it's real in the field. Like, nobody ain't gonna end up dead if they ain't speaking the truth. You know what I mean? And as far as that movie, you know what I mean? I think that's propaganda, you know what I mean, for the, fake alien invasion, you know what I mean, for, the Project Bluebeam. But I think that's actual stories because they had the actual footage of the actual person that the actor was acting and doing the same thing, but it's on camera in black and white. You know what I mean? So that was, man, when the man floated in the sky on the movie, he floated in the sky on camera. And then look, the deep thing about it is that the aliens was talking in Sumerian.
Wow.
Sumerian, and the dude in the movie, like, that's Sumerian text. You know what I mean? That's Sumerian language. You know what I mean? This is the oldest scribes, the oldest hieroglyphics. They had moon rockets and stuff and all the hieroglyphics, spaceships, and, you know what I mean? Like Apollo, ships like the Apollo on hieroglyphics, Sumerian. You know what I mean? So they speak the Sumerian on here. And they got recording of them speaking Sumerian. Yes, man, it's a dope ass movie, man. You gotta watch it. This is it chills up your spine, bro. Like, wow, like, oh no, man.
I'm going to go find it, man.
The fourth kind, man. The fourth kind, man. Based on real situations that happened in Nome, Alaska, man. So we gonna end it on that, man. Insomniacs, man. Thanks for tapping in, man. Shout out to the motherfucking Insomniacs in the chat room. We appreciate y'all. Just wild ass questions, wild ass responses, wild ass rebuttals, man. That's what we're here for, man. Good or bad, man. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own opinion, and we here to just answer those opinions, man. What you gotta say, Phil?
And one more thing, man. To those Insomniacs out there, man, this is a show for the people. What we gonna start doing, man, we gonna start bringing some of y'all on as guests.
Yeah, definitely. We about to get the phone service going, and where y'all can call in, actually, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we about to have a phone service, man. So hit us up, man. info@digitalsoapboxnetwork.com. Anything that you want to, any questions you may have, anything that you want to see us talk about, man, or hear us talk about, rather, man, hit us up, man, and we out of here.
Yada-da. Insomniacs, stay woke. Yada-da.
Exactly. We gone.
Bye-bye now.